And hola ballers, and welcome back to Yakuza Like a Dragon. Where do I even start, man? I played for like 7 hours, and what did we achieve? What did we achieve? Fun, for sure. Like, had just a blast. That 7 hours felt like, I don't know, 20 minutes, something like that. It was just an extraordinary experience. I'm going to start with some of the side stuff I did before we get into the main story, I think. For those of you who are going to follow along with this journey that we're on here. Side stories. Side stories have started popping up all over the place now, like denoted by these chat bubbles that are popped up on the map. And essentially, when you go near them, something will activate, you'll get a little cutscene, and they're falling into a rhythm, which is very funny. I hope they don't stick with it forever. I would like some more twists on this, but the rhythm is absolutely ridiculously over-the-top, absurd storytelling. Like, completely ridiculous. And then it'll flip at the end once you've, like, they've clearly baited you into, like, being angry at somebody or just feeling horrible about somebody to the point where you want to beat them to death. And then afterwards it'll be some really just bizarre moral message. And they have this piano score that they play that for me is super reminiscent, and I'm sure it's intentional, of the original Final Fantasies, particularly 4 and 6. Whenever 4 and 6 had these like very emotional, revealing moments, they would play this very soft piano music because it's like, this is an intense moment. And it hasn't happened, but still the background and the environment you're in is absolutely insane. And so that contrast, certainly if you've played those older games, of what you're hearing and what you're seeing is so at odds with each other that you just feel like, what is even going on? So I'll give you a couple of examples. The first, to ease you into this, we have an old man whose Japanese name in the game translates to Mr. Trash, and he has hoarded so much crap that it's filling the streets. And you'll approach as the local council or the city ordnance guy is there, and he's like, dude, you have to get rid of this trash. And the old man won't. He's like, no, this is all merchandise. Have you ever heard of selling things on the streets? And he's like a crazy, crazy old man. Which then descends into you beating this old man up. And I'm like, are we really doing this? Are we really just going to beat this old guy up in the street to fix the trash problem? So you do. You beat him down. And then immediately afterwards, he gets up. It's like bruised and battered. And then he's like, well, the truth is, I used to run this store with my wife. And unfortunately, she passed away. And ever since then, my life has fallen apart. And I was just thinking to myself, maybe if I keep these things somewhere in the afterlife, she would appraise these goods and it would give her fulfillment. And it goes into this really long thing about redemption arc of his story. And like, you give him, it's so funny to me that Ichiban has literally just no reasonable upbringing in any way. He was raised in like a whorehouse. His education is probably non-existent. He knows very little. He knows about the streets and the Yakuza and the honor system and the families. That's what he knows. But he's now dispensing really wise advice to people and completely clears this guy's mind. He's like, what would your wife see of you now? What if you cleaned this up and you did super well? Wouldn't she be proud of you? And he's like, I could do it, Ichiban. I could do it. And then he like clears up the street. And we now have a new shop that we can use to buy things off. The next one was somebody keeps pissing in the river. There's a public pisser, and they use this to just have constant piss puns. It's like, this is going to trickle downstream, and then eventually the golden light will... and they just go into this complete ridiculous nonsense of dialogue, which is all based entirely on pissing. And then when you find him, it turns into a minigame because there's 4 men who are got their backs to you who could be pissing. They're doing animations and you've got to like guess the right one. I actually have no idea if you choose wrong here, if that will like cause you to have to find him again somewhere else, because we then went into like deep thought. Obviously, as a guy, I've been at many urinals and seen many, many men having a pee from behind. So I was like, well, that guy's kind of doing the shake that we do. That guy's moving too much. It would cause the... And you're like, genuine. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? I'm really genuinely assessing the posture of these guys who look like they're having a pee, but something's slightly wrong. And we crowdsourced it. Like, the audience is like, I think it's that one, actually. That looks more reasonable, right? Because he's not moving too much, but he is trying to shake it off so there's no drips, right? Sorry, ladies, but this is a thing we deal with because you don't want to drip into your underwear. You got to drain the hose. And we got it right. And then you capture the public pisser who then goes on, he's like insane. He wants to like spread his nutrients. And then they have this like weird moment where Ichiban also needs a pee after all this. And he's looking at the river and he's like, maybe I could pee in the river. And you're like, Ichiban, please no. Please no. And this is going to come back later in the main story. And the third one that I have to mention that I did of the bunch of side stories was just so insane. And according to Chris Law, who came in, this is a real thing. So, all right. We're walking down the street, and we see a bunch of Yakuza hassling a guy in the street for his baby formula. And they're trying to steal a tub of baby formula. Like, just a little can of baby formula. And so we step in, and we're like, get out of here, and you beat them up, right? Everything involves beating somebody to death. And they're like, I'm out of here. And the guy's like, thank you. I've been working like so many jobs. And then it goes into this completely off the wall tale of like, this guy's been working like 3 jobs to provide for his newly born son, but his wife now hates him and she won't speak to him and she's angry with him all the time. And now she's making him do all the housework and all this stuff. And she's so short with him. And then we just hear a baby crying. Based on the fact that in a public street inside near us is a building where we heard a baby crying, we launch into an operation. This is all I can describe it as. An operation where we are apparently utterly convinced a baby has just been born in rough conditions in this building. And between me and this guy, we're going to gather towels, hot water, and formula. And we are going to charge in there as heroes to help out this newborn baby because the mother is probably struggling. What? And all the time, like, what are we doing? Like, if you walk down the street and hear a baby crying, that's not that unusual. Babies cry a lot. And you wouldn't just go and insert yourselves into those lives unless you saw a problem, not just because you heard the noise, but this is what we do. We go on a side quest now to find hot water at the cafe. He runs back to his work to get towels, and then we're ready and raring to go. And we break in. And what do we find? A Yakuza gang dressed in diapers being taken care of by a lady while they pretend to be babies. Now, I don't know what to say to describe what I'm witnessing here. But what makes it more interesting, if it could even get more interesting from there, is that we fight the babies, who then become a summon, because the game, of course, has summons. So they're now a summon. We can summon the babies in combat, if necessary, to fight for us. But after the fight, we get into a long, meaningful, deep conversation with this Yakuza gang dressed in diapers, with the guy and the lady who mothers these babies, adult babies, about how the mother is feeling in their relationship. And that taking care of a baby is very hard work. And the fact that he's got multiple jobs now means he's never there. So she's doing it all this on her own. And she resents him for it because she didn't even think we needed the extra money. She hasn't asked for that. She just wants him there to take part in the upbringing of this child instead of it all being lumped on her. And you're just watching this play out and you're like, what in the hell is going on? And then, of course, afterwards we celebrate by drinking baby formula with these adult babies. Like champagne. And there it is. So those are the side stories. And wherever this is going, I don't know. But every single time I'm like, I can't even bring it in. And I've always felt bad because quite a few people who were like joining the stream through the day were tuning in at this kind of moment. And they were like, what? I'm at work right now. And I just tuned into the stream. So I finished my meeting or whatever. What is going on? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I can't tell you. But the main story is proceeding in a really interesting way and still keeps that level of absurdity as well. It's not like they've segmented that off. The main story is still there. Is that we have helped out this lady who runs a brothel for illegal immigrants. And she's taking care of the girls there, and she's having some hassle from Bleach Japan. I actually feel like Bleach Japan's going to be a major role in the story, and Bleach Japan is a protester group that is getting rid of what they call the gray zones. And the gray zones are things that are technically illegal, but they're so minor and openly victimless that the police turn a blind eye to them in favor of more obviously victim-based crimes, right? So they're just silly things that happen, and we all see them every single day out in the streets. These people are technically doing things that they shouldn't be, but it's also not harming anybody. It's not dangerous. It's whatever. And so the police aren't going to waste their time dealing with that when there's, genuine criminals to be dealt with. These are more the guidelines. But the Bleach Japan wants to make everything clearly black and white. If it's illegal, it's illegal, and you should be punished and arrested. And if it's not illegal, you're good. They want to bleach everything white and get rid of the gray. So we go down to deal with this. And because these businesses are registered as technically a restaurant, what they do is they pay a bunch of thugs to go and eat at the restaurant, which clearly doesn't serve food because it's a bathhouse, brothel, whatever you want to call it. And now we're there as the guards. So obviously, in true Ichiban style, we beat the shit out of them. Everything resorts to violence in every single step of the way. The only cure is violence. And I actually said this midway through. It's like, what is the message we take from Yakuza? It's that everything can be solved with just beating somebody down relentlessly. And then we get a house. So we've actually upgraded. It's one room in the brothel upstairs. And us and Namba, our party member, now have a dirty, stained... We have to clean it. That's how we were hired and brought into situations, by cleaners, where we have to clean up jizz tissues, literally, in a bucket. Ichiban has no fear, because he grew up around this. Like, it makes sense. It's disgusting and gross. But he's like, oh, get over it, right? Yeah, like, I was born here, dude. He's like the Bane of brothels, right? Is what I would describe it as from Batman. So he's got like a bucket of jizz tissues, and Namba's like, oh my god, this is gross. And then they sleep on these damp, dirty, used mattress things on the floor. And I'm like, we have to buy more mattresses. This is gross. But now we've got an apartment, and we're like rejoicing. It's really wholehearted, actually. It's like how happy we are to have a roof over our heads. We're not homeless anymore. Like, we move out of the slums. We even have a packing up, and the homeless guys like wave us off as this is happening. I'm like, this is kind of cool, man. And then we sit there and we talk about our childhoods and all this stuff. And then, of course, Adachi returns, our tank/ex-detective. He returns, and I think he's going to live with us as well, because he's also now homeless and unemployed. He's been fired from his job. And now I think all three of us are going to live in this crappy brothel apartment. And now we need to find jobs. Like, so much of the main story right now takes place around what we would call in the UK the job centre, which is if you're unemployed, you have to report to the job centre. It's a government-sanctioned thing where they try and place you in employment. It's not going to be the best work ever, but they will try and match your skills to what's available. And you go down there and you sign up and all these kinds of things. So a lot of this story is going to revolve around that. And our next visit is once again to a brothel where, as far as I'm told... And genuinely, I'm told, I do not do homework on this, apparently a lot of my viewers do, is all the pictures on the walls in these brothels are genuine, real-life Japanese porn stars. They were naming them by name. Like, oh, I know her. That's... I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Where we know porn stars by name and profile and Instagram or whatever. Where we're, once again, there's a bit of a moral twist here with the receptionist. But essentially, we've got to find out what's going on with his main girl, because she started not appearing for work. She blames her period. But she stopped showing up, and he's concerned about it because he eventually it's revealed that he knows her father is very sick, and she used to have a very good job, but she had to start working in the brothels because it's more money, and she had to pay for her sick father. But her father is in some sort of care center. And we follow them and stalk them, and we listen in a conversation where she's having to pay millions of yen to some guy, or the procedure will take place in a few days. And we're like, oh, what's that? And after some roundabout, like, sleuthing, we find out this very luxurious old people daycare center, or care home, is actually killing off the old people. It's run by a Yakuza gang. And what's going on is they are killing off the old people and not reporting it so they can all claim their pensions because or the Yakuza can keep claiming their pensions because they have legal rights over whatever. They should be receiving their pension money in order to pay for their care. So they're killing them so they don't have to pay to keep them alive, but they're still claiming the money for a period of time. That's the scam that's going on, and her father's involved in that. So obviously we break in by getting jobs from the job center, working there as a nurse and a security guard and the janitor for Ichiban, who's getting... And again, all of this is paired up with just complete absurdity, such as we've got this hard iron lady who's our manager as the janitor, who's just running us dry, running us to the bone, doing all those kinds of things. Of course, we beat everybody up, including the... What was really funny here is once the doctor is about to kill her father, right? He's got the needle ready to go. And Ichiban runs in and, like, beats him down. And they have this scene where Adachi and Nambo are, like, looking at the father. And in the background, you just see Ichiban just wailing away on this doctor. Just like, poof, poof. I wanted him to carry on with it longer. Like, he's just wailing away on him. And then you realize, as the dialogue continues... Only like a few minutes later does Ichiban even realize this doctor was about to kill the father. He didn't know at the time he was just wailing away on this doctor. He's just decided to beat the crap out of this guy. And later on he's like, wait, he was going to kill him? It's like, wait, Ichiban, did you just beat the crap out of this guy when like, no, just a doctor who was looking after an old man? Oh, just absolutely absurd. Which then, that all plays out. But there's some extra things that have come into. We've now found a karaoke bar, which becomes the hangout. For the team. I'm not sure how that's going to play into it, but the owner of the bar is voiced by David Hayter, Solid Snake, before Kiefer Sutherland took over, and very unceremonious in terms of the fans. So this character is definitely going to be a recurring character, I would expect. I don't think it's a cameo. I think it's going to be a recurring character where we can now do karaoke. And we've got gardening. We can now plant seeds. And I did some more can collecting, which turns out we could buy furniture. So I assume at some point we can actually decorate maybe our hovel that we live in. More layers are unfolding. I would say like 13 hours into this game, and it's still just like, but wait, there's more. There's more things going on. You've got summons now. You've got all these side stories. We need money. I bought some great weapons. I have a very large sexual massager, which is my main weapon. Which more than like quadrupled the damage stat on my weapons. I was like, well, we've got to buy this thing, along with some other things and we're now getting armor. We're getting rings, fire resist. We're actually getting genuine RPG tools that go along with things. Needless to say, if you can't tell by the tone of this video, I'm having the best time. I'm having such a good time. There's a few mini games I'm not going to get involved in. Mahjong for one of them. I've never played it. I don't want to. And there was another like chess variant, which was a little like, I don't want to learn this game too much. I enjoy chess. I'm not great at chess by any means. I've played it maybe once every couple of years. I played it a lot as a kid, but not anymore. But this is like a variant on chess with different rules and things like that. And also the pieces are all in, you know, I don't understand what they say. They've got some letters there nearby to help you, but I was like, I'm not doing this. This is not happening. But some of the other mini games I'm obviously going to take part in, which people are clamoring for. It's like, we want more mini games. All right. I mean, I want to do them, but I also want the story as well. So we're just going to absorb all this game, I think, at this point. I really hope it doesn't let me down in the future, because right now I'm just like, I just need more. I crave more. I want to play more, and I can't wait. So I can't wait to tell you what adventures we get on tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Bye, guys.